Today's load comp, as you would look at it, is like every day that we load the airplanes, it's like a dress rehearsal to prepare our airmen and our aviators to go off into combat. So kind of what we do here every day, and this load comp represents the best of the best and the talent and skills required to prepare our airmen in the event that they ever have to go off into harm's way, that they're ready to go execute those operations.
Load crews, are you ready?
The strict standards that we abide by and the muscle memory that these individuals go through, a normal certification on any aircraft that you see today is 18 months, 12 to 18 months to be proficient on this. And we have, again, 18-year-olds that come through a 2-week initial certification, and from that time frame, they continue to grow in their profession and learn how to gel as a team. So that would be the biggest thing that I'd want the community to take out of this is they struggle really hard in the environments, but they make it work at the end of the day.
So the mental intensity as far as that goes, it's ratcheted up another level because you have the crowd, and then we're used to being evaluated constantly because that is not only ensures our quality, but it happens every day to us. We're always evaluated, we're always inspected, so that keeps us at the top of our game. But as far as effective communication with my team, that's paramount to ensure we have a good load, because if somebody's off step or not doing something they're supposed to do or doing something they're not supposed to do, then it throws off the whole load, and it can go from, we did that in about 25, 27 minutes to 35, 45 minutes, and then we can start making mistakes if our communication isn't good, and that's not good for anybody.
The reason why we stress them as an environment and put them in this environment is so that when they're doing out of being well trained and they're doing out of instinct and can respond when the nation needs them to be really, really, really good at it. And that's why we have these competitions, is so that they're ready for the game time in the event that we ever have to go do it. And so it's critically important that we hold them to that high standard, and we hold them to that high level of expertise and training so that when our nation needs them to go do it, they're fully equipped and prepared to go do it.
We are not a combat-coded base, but we are a massive entity to the United States Air Force. We provide the weapons school, pilot training, and we provide operational test and evaluation here. And so the men and women of the 57th Wing, they conduct that very well, and the amount of influence they have that goes out to the rest of the Air Force is you can't compare that.
It's a great analogy with the NASCAR pit crew. Everything has to be timed and sequenced to the exact precise time with no deviations from any of the processes and procedures, and as we call it, tactical procedures, to ensure that they meet their timing required to turn the aircraft, load the aircraft, to kind of give it to the pilot so he can go out there and win that race.
Go. The headline is just truly awesome. The load competition itself goes sort of anticlimactic after it starts, but for the individuals, the NCOs and airmen that are loading, they are 100% in game mode, competition mode, and we get to honor them. So we get to do an award ceremony here at 2 o'clock this afternoon and represent who is the best of the best of their quarter, which AMU, and have that camaraderie where we just sort of come together and we keep that team building.
We want to be able to showcase how good we are at our job and give confidence to our pilots, our commanders, our coworkers, our friends, our families, and then anybody else that's going to be eventually downrange with us, that's going to accept our bombs on their aircraft to go downrange. We want to give them the confidence to show we are good at what we do, and we can do it quick, fast, and in an efficient manner, reliably.
For our career field, the weapons community, we were able to go and look at an A-10 that you might be very proficient on, and after a couple years, I can move somebody to a F-35, and now it continues their knowledge base to where they can control, and so when they do PCS or get in a different assignment to a Hill Air Force Base, this F-35, it just increases the knowledge and the platforms across the Air Force, and just we promote people out of our job. We train the next people.
This is like their championship game. This is like the trials leading up to the championship when it comes into even the Olympics. And so as you'd wait, this would be like the gold and the silver and the bronze medalist. And there's a lot of pride and morale and camaraderie that is built through these competitions, where it showcases the best of the best who actually wins for their weapon system, for their aircraft maintenance unit, and for their squadron. And so it's a huge deal.
The training value of the extra adrenaline and nerves is when you do this for real in a deployed location, if tensions are high, there's people depending on the bombs that you need, you already have experienced a level of stress performing in front of a crowd, and there's a time and evaluators, and in order to have that stress in training, it makes it far easier to do when lives are on the line.
We have a great list of evaluators that are on the spot evaluating them, use their scores, compute their overall success to determine who is that person that has the best skill and the best loading operations for their particular unit. Every other base in the Air Force does this, but I would also have to say that the 57th Maintenance Group does it far better than anybody else. And when you look across this air patch, and it showcases every weapon system, every fighter for our Air Force, there's no other wing that can showcase that opportunity. And it's just an impressive opportunity to see that here at Nellis Air Force Base.
We're used to being evaluated constantly because that is not only ensures our quality, but it happens every day to us. We're always evaluated, we're always inspected, so that keeps us at the top of our game. But as far as effective communication with my team, that's paramount to ensure we have a good load, because if somebody's off step or not doing something they're supposed to do or doing something they're not supposed to do, then it throws off the whole load, and it can go from, we did that in about 25, 27 minutes to 35, 45 minutes. We want to be able to showcase how good we are at our job and give confidence to our pilots, our commanders, our coworkers, our friends, our families, and then anybody else that's going to be eventually downrange with us, that's going to accept our bombs on their aircraft to go downrange. We want to give them the confidence to show we are good at what we do and we can do it quick, fast, and in an efficient manner, reliably. I feel like we did pretty well. We communicated well, and everybody was always looking for work, so I feel like the load went really smooth.
We had a great turnout to showcase what the men and women of the 57th Wing maintenance community and weapons community can showcase for the local community. So we had a great turnout, and I'm excited for what's next for this wing.
What's unique about Nellis and how it relates is that there are 9 different types of race cars that we have here. Other wings only have 1 race car. And so from a standpoint of that, all synchronized, all sequenced, everyone doing different things to provide the most highly capable, well-loaded aircraft to go off and perform its nation's business. And just like the NASCAR driver going around and trying to win, our pilot will definitely win based off of what our pit crews are doing in our weapons community. And it's absolutely impressive.